Hey guys, welcome back to my September vlog. Today is the first clip for that vlog. Today is Thursday, September 4th. I think today's the 4th. Is it? Let me look at my calendar real quick. The reason why I'm not like sitting down, you're going to see in a second. Yes, today's the 4th. Okay. So if you can see behind me, there's nothing on the walls. Bill and I are moving next year. And so we are in the process of doing some house repairs, and then we're painting the whole house. And what precipitated me doing my office right now was I planned on not keeping all of my diamond paintings and cross stitch that I had done for the last 16 years. I only wanted to take the pieces I really, really loved, and I was either going to give away or donate the rest of them. Well, my dad does this auction twice a year, and it's coming up in October. And he was like, well, why don't I take the pieces that you don't want to auction? And so I was like, I got to get everything off the walls. So that's what I did yesterday. So I'm going to flip you guys around and show you. This is such a huge undertaking, though. We moved everything out of here except my desk, because I still have to work, obviously. We still need to get that TV off the wall. But Bill and I spent a good bit of time in here yesterday looking at what we need to do. We need to patch, and we're just painting everything white. I am sad to see the purple go. And, I'm going to be honest. Now, before I say that, here are the pieces. I had to move some stuff in here. These are all the pieces I'm keeping. I had, no lie, almost 60 pieces on my wall in there. Yeah. I'm keeping all of this though. So this is probably 20 pieces, 25 pieces maybe. Plus I'm keeping everything. That's Elizabeth behind the wall because I had nowhere else to put it. I mean, behind the door. I am keeping... I'm going to be filming out here. I'm keeping everything that's in the library as far as artwork. And if you've ever moved house and sold your house, I've only ever moved apartments. It is very overwhelming. And then having to paint this whole house, also really overwhelming. And not to mention that, of course, when we paint a room, nothing we had on the walls is going back up on the walls. So that means for the next 7 months, probably, at least 7 months, probably 7-8 months, we are going to be living in somewhat of disarray, because that means nothing is going back up on the walls in my office until we're in a new home. And we're not even going to start looking until January. So we probably aren't going to be moving until March, April, May, But in the meantime, doing a lot of stuff around here. We've done a lot of stuff outside. It is just... And I talked to my dad this morning, and he was like, God gives you the grace to handle today. He's like, I know it's a lot. You just have to be patient and literally take one day at a time. So it's a lot, though. It's a whole lot. And I most likely will have less space than I do now in a new house. And I just hope I can recreate or make whatever space I have as beautiful as the spaces in this house have been. And yesterday, I said something to Bill about, I'm going to miss the lavender in my office and all of that. And he says, I promise you we will make the spaces in the new house just as beautiful as they were in here. Because I've only had the library a little over a year. May not even be able to have one because it depends on, do we find a house that has a dining room that I can convert into a library? Because it looks like we're going to have one less bedroom, because most of the houses we've seen, not that that's any indication, but in the price range that we are looking at, 3-bedroom, which means Bill gets a room, I get a room, and then I get a third room that would probably have to be split into a craft room and a library. Because if we're only able to get a 3-bedroom, my plan is to turn my bedroom closet into my office. I've seen that done, where you take the doors off, I put my desk in there, because literally all I need in my office is a desk and then shelves above it for like my office supplies. I don't need, a recliner in there per se. So that's what my plan is if I can't have like a separate office. But all of this is just conjecture anyway, as we don't know when we start looking what spaces we're going to have. But it is just such a huge undertaking. It's Bill's dream to move, to live by the beach, to live by the water. So, yeah. So, living in disarray for a couple months. And then, even getting into a new house, I told him yesterday, I said, I hope you know that whatever rooms I have, as in bedroom, craft room, I'm painting them a color. And the color for my craft room, I already have it in mind, because there's a Flosstuber, I forget what her channel is. Her room is painted like a watermelon pink. That's how I could describe it. It's not a baby pink. It's like a deeper melon color. I love it because she has like white trim, I think. It's gorgeous. I didn't want to do purple again. I wanted to do something different. The melon color, chef's kiss. It's so beautiful. But I'm going to do some research and see like what are good colors. For like my bedroom, I would like a sage green, or maybe even like a medium blue color. Like that would be really nice. Anything but white or tan, which is, no, you know me, color, gotta have the color. So it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. I know in the long run it will be worth it, because I will only be like 10 minutes from Salty Yarns stitching store in Berlin, Maryland, and I'll be 10 minutes from the retreats that I go to 3 times a year. So, I mean, it will be fantastic in that regard. But just getting to that point, like I said, I've only ever moved apartments, and that seemed a headache. There's so much stuff in this house, and we have gotten rid of a lot of stuff. It's astounding how many items that you look around and you realize you have. And I never thought of myself as having a ton of items. I've gotten rid of so much just myself from my own personal stuff. Bill has a lot. We were in his shed the other day, and I looked around and I went, oh my God. Like, yeah. But my dad is pretty much, going to be a lifesaver as far as like helping me take the pieces to auction. I'll have to take you guys downstairs and show you the stuff that I'm taking to auction. It's quite a bit. Even if it gets me something, I'm not even concerned if what the pieces sell for, just to not have them. Okay. So enough about that. Stitching. I have been working on sparingly Tiny Modernist Mouse's Strawberry Jam. Love this piece. I should film out here anyway. This room it's not going to be in disarray, I feel like, until like the very end, because, and we don't have to paint my craft room, which is awesome, because remember Bill just redid that like 2 years ago, and there's no holes in the wall. That's a tip. If you are possibly able to help it, do not put holes in your walls to hang stuff. I'm telling you, when we move, 3M hooks all the way. 3M picture hangers. There is not one hole in my craft room now. Everything that's on the wall is done by a 3M hook. Yes. There's so many fucking holes in the wall in my office because I had so much hanging up there and didn't know about 3M. Anyway, just a tip. Mouse's strawberry jam. Yeah, the lighting is so good in here because the window is in front of me. So yeah, Mouse's strawberry jam. All the called, well, no, I'm using the DMC conversion because I did not want to buy the overdyes. And I'm stitching mine on 28 count Coffee Jobelan. Ah, is she not the cutest little mouse you've ever seen? Holding the strawberry and then the plant. I stitched quite a bit on Saturday and Sunday actually. So love this so very much. So I've done that. And then I have no purchases. I'm still waiting for my big order from the needlework market that was held at the end of August. I do not know when that will come in, but I will be sure to show you guys all of the stuff as soon as it comes in. But I did kit up 2 other projects. So one of my gorgeous Pinny and Tunny bags. Please, the pumpkins, are you kidding? I have a bunch of projects kitted up because when I go to retreats, I only take perforated paper projects now because it's the easiest to handle. So what did I kit up? And this just spurred yesterday when I saw the pattern. It is a piece from Just Cross Stitch magazine. And let me see what issue it is. I want to say it's the most recent issue. the Halloween 2025 issue. This is by Mod Cross Patterns, and it's called Halloween is My Favorite. So this looks like they stitched it on white, but they actually stitched it on a gray fabric. Small gray cobwebs linen from Fabric Flare. I'm going to stitch mine on white 18 count perforated paper. Now you see there are some white things in here, like the ghost and the eyes. Here's my plan for that. So it's all in DMC, except the purple is Gentle Art Sampler Threads Purple Iris, which I actually bought. So let me show you that. It's a beautiful color. Purple Iris is just gorgeous. So that's all the lettering. And it said 2 skeins, but given that I'm working on 18 count, I will probably be able to get away with 1 skein. That's my hope anyway. But I bought, because I didn't really want to maybe stitch the ghost or the eyeballs, I actually bought some buttons. So I got this ghost button. I don't know if that will be big enough. You see where the ghost is? But I also got this little Frankenstein monster's head. Might put that there too. I love that. And then I got a set of these eyeballs. So who knows? I will play around with that when that time comes. But then I was looking and I'm like, okay, what's going to be my petite treasure braid accent? And what I think I'm going to do is, see how all the potion bottles, like, they have a lid on them? And then even maybe the stem of the pumpkin, I'm going to use this, like, orangey, coppery petite treasure braid. Yeah. Love that. So, that is my plan for that. And then I kitted up one more. Let me get this situated. I kitted up one more. And what prompted me to kit this one up was I had this on my office door. This I either got from Michael's or from the Dollar Tree. I can't remember. I cannot remember. But I really like the sentiment, and this is raised in the middle. I feel like I got this from Michael's at some point. So because we're painting that whole room, we're also painting the door. So I had to take this off of there. And I'm like, I was just going to chuck this and not even use it. But I was like, I wonder if there's a pattern that I could use right now, find a pattern, and then stitch it on paper and just have it this size. And I was like, put on my thinking cap. Here's what I found. First off, another Pinny and Tunny bag. Ah, can you even? Love these bags so much. Okay. This is actually one of the Friday freebies from Primrose Cottage Stitches that I never stitched from last year. It is the Give Thanks one. And it looks like this. Now, they stitched theirs on gray. I am actually, because the pumpkin, and then there's two pumpkins. They're in ecru. I wanted it to show up. So I am going to stitch mine on antique brown perforated paper. Because if you put the paper, you know, yeah, I think that'll look good. I'm going to stitch mine on antique brown perforated paper. And they did classic colorworks, but they give you a DMC conversion, but it's only 5 colors. One color is ecru, black, and the other color is black. And then there is an orange, a brown color, and then a green color. So what I decided to do was use Gentle Art Sampler Threads Fragrant Cloves for the orange. Love that color so much. For the green, I'm using Weeks Dye Works Grasshopper because I had these overdyes bought. And then instead of doing the brown for the pumpkin stems, I'm going to do Weeks Dye Works Indian Summer, which is like a burgundy. Remember, you can do what you want with your cross stitch pieces. So look at those colors up against that, please. And then if you pull out the ecru, it's gonna pop on there. Yeah, I am thinking I'm going to take this piece because I go to a retreat in like 2 weeks in Ocean City. I am going to take this piece with me and then probably the mermaid that I'm stitching for the library that's holding the book because I'm already a ways through that. So I think I'm going to take those two. And that's going to be it because I will probably not work on anything else. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring another one. I have like 8 projects kitted. And that's it. That's all I got. What's falling out here? That's all I have. I started a new book. I went through a couple books and didn't enjoy reading them. So I think I've settled on this one. Her Pretty Lies by Angela Henry. It's suspense. It's pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So that's it. That's all I got. I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay. Hey guys, today is Friday, September 5th. And I wanted to show you. Bill and I spackled this morning in my office. We are going to get paint tomorrow. I mean, what? I mean, look at this. I mean, what? My desk is now in the middle of my room. But what I wanted to go through with you today, I don't have any stitching progress. I don't have any purchases. What I wanted to show you were the pieces that I'm saving, that I'm taking with me. So this is the bin of what I'm saving. So it is roughly, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 3 to 4 to 5, roughly 25 pieces out of 60. My dad, wow, and everything, every piece of artwork that's in here is going. Everything that's in here, all of the artwork, all of the things I've stitched, this is all going. But from my office that I had hung up, this is what I'm saving and taking with me to a new house. So we are going to go through them and go have a trip down memory lane. because some of you may not have even seen these pieces if you're a fairly new subscriber or new in a good period of time, because some of these pieces are over 10 years old that have been hanging in my office. So let me pause, get a setup, and I will be right back. Okay, my IKEA cart comes in handy to film because, yeah. All right, so I found this and I had a picture on it, a photograph on it. Let me see if turning this lamp on will look better. I love the way that lamp looks. I know I got this at Michael's or the Dollar Tree. I want to find a fall piece to stitch on paper and clip in here. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to look. Because this says the cutest pumpkin in the patch. So it's almost like, I don't know. I need to put my thinking cap on. Find something that I can stitch and put in there. That would be very cute. Okay, this is in no particular order, of course. But all of these have been, most of these have been framed by me. Some have been framed by Jill Rensel. I will talk about all of that because I pretty much remember all of these pieces, you know, when I stitched them, if they were framed. So the first two I did many, many, many years ago when Brooks Books Publishing was very, very popular. I want to say this was like Peppermint Twist Fairy. So I stitched it. This is artist canvas. So I painted the artist canvas silver and then used Mod Podge to put down the scrapbook paper, and this is scrapbook paper, and then I just stuck her to it. I only finished 2 of these. I did this one, and then I did the next one that I'm going to show you. And when I was taking everything off the wall and deciding what I wanted to keep, I was like, these are the only 2 I've ever done, and I really love how I finished them. So this one was done a little bit differently. This is the Christmas Baking Fairy, I think. I loved stitching these so much. I need to do more of them. I mean, this little pocket is open. You sew it and then you slip these in here. This stuff is so very cool. But this is scrapbook paper that I stapled or glued to the back of an artist canvas. And then this is also scrapbook paper. I mean, scrapbook paper is such an easy way to finish something. I had someone message me on the channel. I could probably scoot this a little closer. I had someone message me on the channel and say, oh, I would love to see where you hung your stuff. And internally I busted out laughing because I was like, I just fucking took everything off the walls. Okay, I'm gonna save this one for last because there's a story with that many of you have heard at one time or another, but new people have not heard the story. I will tell the story. Okay, these 2 things are not necessarily needlework. This is my certificate when I got done radiation, when I went through breast cancer treatment. So I decided to frame it because it was definitely an important milestone. And above that, in my office, every breast cancer needle minder that I amassed, I put on this magnetic board. And then I had this postcard. So I am going to keep this for sure. And I'm going to hang these together again in whatever new place. Okay. These were only done a year or 2 ago, a couple years ago. This is, I want to say Heart and Hand. But I got this pumpkin at Hobby Lobby. And so I stitched this on 18 count perforated paper, put washi tape around the edge, and this is just little doodads from a scrapbook page. So I thought that turned out so very cute. I love that one. And then I also did this one. So this is a Lizzie Kate pattern. And then this is a sticker. These are stickers. Yeah, so I had these hanging like this in my office. Like, I love these. I was like, I'm not getting rid of those. I love them. Okay. This was made for me by my friend Dina. I love this so much. Yeah, handmade by Dina Albert. She put it right on the back. April of 2020, so right in the crux of COVID. I love this. I had this hanging in my office ever since she made it. Absolutely want to keep that. Love it. Okay, here's some smaller pieces. Okay, this one I did just recently. I actually finished this. Which way does this go? I think it goes this way. I got this at Hobby Lobby. No, either Hobby Lobby or the Dollar Tree. I cannot remember. But this is scrapbook paper. I covered it. And I stitched this on perforated paper and substituted. They had stitched something down here, but I put 3 buttons and then just taped the paper. Little doodads here. Very, very cute. I just love this. It's very, very simple. This was one of the Heart and Hand like calendar things, I think. This was June. Maybe that's what was stitched down here, the word June. And I was like, no, I'm just going to put button flowers from Just Another Button Company. But yeah, I really like that. Okay, and then this one, this is a pattern from Daily Cross Stitch. I bought a lifetime membership for like $20 where I get all of their club patterns for free for the rest of my life. This was one of their patterns. My favorite drink is the next one. I got this board off of Etsy. I don't know from who, but this is scrapbook paper. These are scrapbook stickers. And I stitched this on 18 count perforated paper. And this is done all in petite treasure braid. The glass is silver. Silver petite treasure braid. I know it's kind of hard to see that, but I really love that one. It was so cute when I stitched it. This one was done recently. I want to say I did this one last year. This is Primrose Cottage Stitches, one of their Halloween ones. Halloween alphabet, maybe. I stitched this on 14 count perforated paper, used all the called for DMC, and then just went to Michael's and got a simple frame. It worked out very, very well. I really liked stitching this. This one is a Little House Needleworks something sampler. And I debated whether to keep this one or not, but I'm keeping it because I stitched this a really long time ago. Like, I want to say back in 2010. It was a really long time ago. But I used the called for thread, and this is linen. I know, you're going to see some things that I stitched on 40 count at one time. Let me try to pull this. I keep bending over. I don't want to do that. But yeah, this is 28 count linen, I think, using a variegated, probably a classic Colorworks thread. But the frame, I got this framed at the stitching post. The frame, this is green, like the scroll work. Absolutely love that. And I went, yeah, I'm keeping that one. The bin that I'm giving to my dad to take to auction, a lot of pieces. Whole lot. Now, this is one I had hanging in my bedroom. Oh my God, it's dusty. Oh, horribly dusty. Horribly. I have to clean this. I mean, who's got time to dust picture frames, right? Okay. This is Plum Street Samplers Beans. This is one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. I framed this myself. It only calls for black and white DMC, and this is 14 count Ada from Picture This Plus in the color Midas. I love this piece so much. There was no way in hell that I was giving this one away. I love the woman that's upside down. Please. I enjoyed that one so much. But yeah, very, very dusty. Okay. This was one that I actually have a video on my channel of. I did what's called speed stitching, where I recorded every stitch that I made in this piece and then sped it up. This, and I set some frames on top of each other, which I shouldn't have done that because it dented like the fabric. This frame is from the stitching post. It actually came with a pattern that I didn't stitch. So I bought these coffee beans off of Etsy or somewhere and hot glued them into the spoon. And then this is an alphabet from one of the either World of Cross Stitching or the Cross Stitcher, the UK magazines. And I just spelled out Java because you can see it's got like a stack of cups, a latte, frozen drink, you know what I mean? So it was perfect. And then I know you probably can't tell, but the fabric is an opalescent 14 count Aida. It's really, really pretty in person. And I was like, absolutely keeping that one. Yeah, if you're going to stack your pieces, I learned that. Stack the backs together so you're not like messing up your fabric. Okay, let me show you some other smaller ones that I did. This one is stitched on 40 count linen. I know. I stitched on linen like 10 years ago. I was crazy for it. And 40 count, get the fuck out of here. Like, no. But beautiful, right? I don't know what this design is. I can't remember. But I had this finished by Faye Rigsby, I think. It has a little hanger on the back. I will be putting this up with 3M picture hangers. No nails in the wall. Now, Bill was saying, and he made a good point, there's some things like Elizabeth is going to have to be hung with a nail. That frame is 30 pounds. And like we have a big wedding collage, those kind of things, yeah. But anything else? Okay, this one I framed myself. This is the Drawn Threads Deck the Halls. Love this so much. And I substituted, so I feel like they might have done French knots. I'm a French knot queen now. I know how to do them from doing embroidery. But then I substituted red beads for these. So all of the berries are red beads. But I loved stitching this one so much. And this is a hand-dyed fabric. I want to say this looks like a Weeks Dye Works linen maybe. I don't know when I glance at it, but love it. Love it so much. And then this one was a Stony Creek design from one of their magazine issues on beach time. I used all the called for threads. This fabric, I don't remember what the fabric is, but I had this framed by the Stitching Post when they still did framing. Love it. Very simple. It's beautiful. I love the variegated thread that was used in the word beach, and I can't remember. I want to say it was a Weeks Dye Works. I loved stitching this very, very much. Okay. This one is a Clouds Factory stitched piece that they did for Hocus Pocus. 1000% was keeping this. And this fabric is actually from a company that I don't think is in business anymore. She was overseas. I can't remember the name. Something Stitch in the title, I think. I can't remember. But I had a Fabric of the Month club from her, so I loved it. But I mean, it is so friggin' cute. I used all the called for thread, except I added some Petite Treasure braid in the book. And then the candle like flames. But I had this framed at the Stitching Post. Love that purple frame. Love this, love this, love this. I mean, it was so much fun to stitch that. Okay, this one I stitched many, many years ago, and I actually stitched it when I still went to when Salty Yarns was on the boardwalk and they had their own retreats. This is one of the mermaids. I don't even know what it's called. It's by Nora Corbett, though. I mean, again, dusty frames. Stunning, right? I mean, look at her hair. Beautiful. Lots of beads. Yeah, this is definitely a Nora Corbett because it's one of her smaller ones. This is a 14 count Aida from Fiberlicious, I'm sure. And then I had it framed at the Stitching Post. Yes, keeping that, please. It's going to be fun to try to figure out how to hang all these up, right? Okay, this one is on 35 count Weeks Dye Works linen, and I know it for a fact. This is Little House Needleworks pattern. I don't even remember what it was called, but it only called for like 3 colors, cream, brown, and pink. And then I had it framed by the Stitching Post. Love that frame. I mean, look at that. I am so sad that they don't do framing anymore. They had the best frames. and their framing person was amazing. They retired, so I get it. Love this piece. Absolutely was not going to not keep that. And then this one, I also had framed from the stitching post. This is Little House Needlework Strawberry House. Now, I actually stitched this on a crossed wing linen. I was obsessed with that linen many, many years ago. Stunning colors. This piece is very simple. I loved it. I loved stitching it. I remember stitching it. Very simple frame. Love this one so much. I love the house. The house was my favorite. But you know that house took longer than you think it's going to take, right? Yes. But gorgeous. Okay, this is one I did not that long ago. We're almost down to it. We're almost down to the end. This is a Prairie Schooler. I think I'm right. This is stitched on 18 count perforated paper with 1 strand of DMC. I don't know that I would recommend 1 strand because you can see the paper through here. 2 strands is, I'm going to be testing that out again. 2 strands gives good coverage, but it sometimes can look a little bulky. But I got this board from the Dollar Tree, and I just scrapbook paper, and then put the paper on it. I love this finish so much. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, this piece probably is my favorite piece that I've ever stitched. And that's saying a lot because I have done many, many things. Okay, I'm going to save that because there's a story with that piece too. I'll tell the stories at the end. This is done on 40 count linen. 1 strand over 2, so essentially 20. This is Little House Needleworks Miss Peepers. Loved stitching this so much. Got it framed by the stitching post. I remember when I was stitching this, I stitched this in bed. Before I had a TV in my room, I had a Kindle Fire that I would watch movies on. I watched the movie Side Effects with Catherine Zeta-Jones. So whatever year that movie came out, it's when I stitched this. Love this so very much. Love the pink, please. It's a bird wearing glasses, please. Have to keep it. Okay, that also has a little bit of a story. We will save that till the end. All right, this is a piece that I actually won a 2nd place ribbon at Woodlawn, the needlework exhibition. I got this framed by the stitching post. This is just stitched on bone 28 count Jobelan, and it is a Country Cottage Needleworks pattern. I loved this so much. So very simple. But the mat is velvet. Yeah, how could I, please, saving it for sure. Okay, this one also framed by the stitching post because I am not good at framing needlepoint. This is a Needle Delights Originals counted canvas piece that I did. I forget what this is called. Aquamarine, that's what it's called. I mean, I did this in hand, if you can believe it. I did not put this on any kind of stretcher bar. I actually rolled it up and had the canvas clipped. And as I did each piece, I just unrolled it. I know. It's beautiful though. It's gorgeous. I mean, look at all those stitches. Yeah. But yeah, if you go back here, it's beautifully framed. They did an amazing job. Yeah, definitely keeping that one. That is so light. Like that weighs nothing, it feels like. Okay, this one has a story too. Wow. So I have 4 pieces here that have a story. All right, so the last like big piece, I did win a ribbon at Woodlawn for this one too. This is Nora Corbett's Summer Love Fairy. This was framed by Jill Rensel. Now, that face is not the face that was charted. Melanie Rowe, who I think is still a member, and she does like model stitching for Nora. She is in the Facebook groups. She had charted this face and she gave me the chart. It's beautiful. But Nora Corbett, Jill Rensel did an amazing job framing this. This is one of my favorite pieces that I've ever stitched also. Please, it's so beautiful. Okay, the pieces that have stories. All right, So this one, and I cannot remember the designer of the piece. This was framed by the Jill Rensel. You can tell because she painted the mat. This was, I want to say it was called ABC Christmas was the name of the pattern. The pattern was long discontinued. The thread was Threadworks. I don't remember what color. I actually subbed out, I did this in Petite Treasure Braid and did some beads. That's not how it was charted. But the story behind this, so many years ago, Stitching Pretty, Michelle, and Ellen from the store in Alexandria and Stitches, they had a retreat for a couple years in a row in Laurel. And Laurel was only 40 minutes from me, so I went. And one of the owners, Gail, had just passed away, I think, from cancer. And they had a bunch of her kits they were auctioning off. And all this had the fabric in it already. And the fabric is opalescent linen. It's very, very pretty. And I know you can't tell that by seeing it. But the linen was opalescent. It had the linen. It was started. Like A and B was stitched, I think, or just A. And I just fell in love with this so much. I want to say that I purchased it for $25 for the whole kit, which was a steal. And the original chart had it charted for 2009, I think. So I went online and tried to search a similar alphabet because you can see when I stitched it in 2013. So it was that long ago. But absolutely love this one so much. There was no doubt. When there's a story attached to it, I'm not getting rid of it. Okay, the next piece I'm going to save the best story for last because, yeah. All right, so I did this, basically a scrapbook layout on an artist canvas. Pam from Just Keep Stitching, she gave me this pattern. She had stitched it and the kit was long since retired and you couldn't get it. And she gave me the pattern. So I will always be forever grateful for her to do that. So I stitched this. This was a picture that Bill and I took on my last day of chemo, which was December 29th of 2017. So I celebrate that day every year, just, you know, as a nice little reminder. But yeah, this is just scrapbook paper and stickers. And yeah, I will probably in the new place, hang this with the needle minders and the certificate from the radiation. That would be a nice little grouping to do, you know. Okay. This is Prairie Moon, is it? Prairie Moon's Red and the Black too. Please, are you kidding? So I had this framed at the Stitching Post. And the story behind it is for the first 3 months that I was going through treatment were probably the hardest that I went through as far as chemo. And I was off for an entire month, the month of February that year in 2017. I like to say that cross stitch like saved my life, like saved my sanity, and this piece specifically. So Emily C. from Eclectic Possessions, she had the chart. Prairie Moon charts are all out there now. You can get them on their website, but then they were retired. They were out of print. You were paying crazy ass prices for them. She had just finished stitching this, and I messaged her and said, can I buy it from you? Well, she was like, I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to let you buy it from me. So in the meantime, when she was mailing it, I ordered from Color Cascade Fabrics in Australia this fabric, which is 28 count Jobelan in their color Rocket Queen, which is a beautiful orange. I hadn't had a plan yet because I didn't know. This pattern came in the same day in the mailbox that the fabric did. And Emily, the wonderful soul that she is and stitcher, she included this teal dinky dye silk with the pattern. And I was like, it was like the perfect storm. I pulled all that out and I went, oh my God. So that is why I stitched this piece with black DMC. but the dinky dye silk that Emily had sent, win the pattern, and then stitched it on the Color Cascade Rocket Queen fabric. I mean, this will probably just be my favorite piece, because every time, I call this my chemo piece, because that month that I was off of work and just going through a really hard time, I stitched this. This is all that I worked on. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. Love it so much. Okay, and the last piece, and I'm saving the best story for last. Some of you who have watched my channel all this time, as soon as I show this piece, you're going to know the story. This is Satsuma Street's Autumn Bird, I think it's called. Now, I got this framed at the Stitching Post. This fabric is from Fantasy Dyed Fabrics, who is not in existence anymore, I don't think. You used to have to go on her Etsy store at a certain time of the morning on Tuesdays, and she listed all of her fabric, and it sold like hotcakes. Jill and I used to buy a whole bunch of it. This is one of her pieces, and all of her pieces were solos. So when you got it, you weren't getting another one like it. I will treasure this forever. But the story behind this, and this is a good one. You know, my job, sometimes I have time off during the week. A job ends early, or we just don't have a job on a particular Wednesday. I finished this and I clipped it to a pants hanger to take in with me so I wasn't handling the fabric. This is a random Wednesday and it's like noon. I'm thinking, there ain't gonna be anybody in that store. Ma'am, sir, I pulled up and I went, are they giving away something here today? It was some kind of sale going on. I don't know what, but the store for 12 o'clock on a freaking Wednesday was insane. It looked like a Saturday. Well, I'm here, so I go in, and at that time, their framing department was way in the back of the store. So I go in the back. There's a line for framing. So I'm standing in line. Now, I am minding my motherfucking business. I am not talking to anybody. I'm not asking anybody anything. I am minding my business. I'm just looking around because there's racks of charts and stuff. This woman, who I have termed Bird Lady because I don't know her name, she comes up to me and says, oh, that pattern, that piece is so beautiful. Who's the designer? And I said, oh, it's Satsuma Street's Autumn Bird. And that's all I said. She says, well, do you know where I could get it? Something along those lines. And I said, oh, I got the pattern on Etsy, on my computer. You would have thought that I said I wrestled someone in the street and stole their pattern. Like, I mean, the way that she reacted by me saying I got it online on a computer. Excuse me. Oh, I'm never on the internet. I don't even own a computer. And she went on, and I thought, okay. She walks away, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that? I get the framing done. Now, when you got the framing done there, you had to pay a deposit, which made perfect sense, right? They give you this sheet of paper to take to the counter. Now, I am not there to buy cross stitch. I am not there to buy floss or fabric or patterns or nothing. My sole purpose was getting this framed. So now I have to go up in line. There's a long line because this was before like they had the new registers and all that. There's two people, two cashiers, but we're all in one line. A woman in front of me. Now, Bird Lady is like 3 people behind me, okay, in line. There is a woman like 2 people in front of me that is she stitched this crab that was red, and she was getting it fully finished. And she was picking out the cording color. So, I'm laughing just thinking about this. So, what color does she pick out? 666, because it's fucking red. Now, mind you, Bird Lady is 2 people behind me.
So she's essentially like 4 people away from this woman. And the woman's not talking loud. When she says, oh, I would like to use 666, Bird Lady pipes up loudly, mind you, and is like, I never stitch with 666. That's the devil's color. Lady, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you saying right now? Like, go fuck all the way off, right? I just stood there and was like, am I on candid camera? Like, is there a camera somewhere? It gets better. Finally, I am getting up to the line. I am like in the process of almost checking out. Someone's cell phone rings. And when their cell phone rings, it plays a song. And I don't know if the person didn't know it was ringing. It might have been Bird Lady's phone for all I know. Bird Lady proceeds to step out of line and start dancing around everybody to the song. I looked at the cashier behind the counter and we like locked eyes and like, I think just by telepathy was like, please get me the fuck out of this store. Like, this has been the most insane trip I've ever experienced at Stitch and Post. It was just that one woman, crazy pants. Like, you know that cross stitch pattern that I have that says, what pants am I going to wear today? Crazy or no, fancy or I think it's crazy. No, fancy or smarty. No, that didn't fit. This woman was a loon, like truly. I got out of that store and I got in the car and I said to myself, what did I just experience? And I think I left Jill like a message and was like, you will not even believe what just happened. And then I did a video like that Saturday. And I think I remember I was eating waffles for breakfast and I decided to tell the story. The story has gone down in infamy. I've told the story numerous times on the channel because new people haven't heard it. It was the craziest motherfucking thing I've ever experienced in a stitching store. Besides seeing someone in front of me spend $750 one time on stitching stuff. But no judgment because they may have only shopped once a year, right? Anyway, Autumn Bird by Satsuma Street will forever reside in my house wherever I am because the story with it. Yeah. But okay, this has been a 34-minute segment. But thank you so much for all of the kind comments that I received on my first vlog. You guys really seem to like it. And it is much easier for me to record that way and put everything up. Yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. We will be spackling and painting probably, or at least spackling. We might have to paint next weekend. Our anniversary is Sunday, our wedding anniversary. We'll be married for 12 years. So I don't know what we're doing. Hopefully I will see you guys in the next clip with some stitching progress.
Hey guys, welcome back to another clip. Today is Saturday, September 13th. I have not stitched or diamond painted this entire week because when I wasn't working, which I worked 4 days out of 5, I was helping Bill paint, spackle, clean. I've done more cleaning in this week, I think, than I have done in my whole life. But the room is painted. So this is my office. It's painted. It's all white now. And I am waiting for Bill to get home. He's fishing. And then we're going to get everything put back together and, you know, have my office some semblance of a normal office. Bill worked tirelessly. It looks good. I am sad about the purple being gone, but it is what it is. So I've also been, that is painting supplies. Bill is painting his bedroom next. We have done a lot of cleaning out, a lot of getting ready for a community yard sale that we are having at the end of this month. This big pile here, all yard sale stuff. Now this is all my stuff. And I'm even getting rid of this bookshelf that was under the window. And Bill was like, why are you getting rid of that? And I said, I didn't really want to take it to the new house. And so what I did was I moved all of the books that were there to this shelf. So, yeah. And you know, my mind's always going. So in a new house, if we cannot get a 4-bedroom and we have to get a 3-bedroom, I found this bookshelf that will divide the room. Like, because if we have a 3-bedroom, I'm going to have to divide a room, most likely, into craft room and library. Because I'm going to try to put my office in my bedroom if I can. Because I really only need a desk. That's really all I need for an office. So I found a divider that is actually a bookshelf. So if that comes to pass, I am probably even going to be getting rid of this one and putting all of these books on the room divider. So yeah, just thinking, but man, we have been, every time I walk around the house, I find something else that I want to get rid of. And let me tell you, when I have been doing this clean out, it has really changed my perspective on purchasing things for my home, bringing stuff into the house. Cross-stitch patterns are a different thing, as you're going to see, because my order from the needlework market came in. But like stuff like this, just, oh my God, just so much stuff. Like, it is literally so much stuff. And we have a big pile downstairs. So yeah, the end of this month, our community is having a yard sale. So we're going to be setting up tables and putting all of this out there. And whatever isn't sold, my dad has a contact that will come and just pick it up for us. Just take it all. So let me pause, get set up, and we're going to see some cross-stitch patterns. All of my patterns that I got from Top Knot Stitcher, Abby, from the needlework market that was in August, all came in the mail this week. Okay. So I think I'm driving Bill a little bit crazy with just cleaning out, getting rid of stuff. And yeah, I think I'm driving him bonkers. I mean, we are way ahead of the game as far as cleaning out, getting rid of stuff. We're way ahead, right? So I have been trying to compact my stuff, like literally have the smallest footprint that I can in a new place. So my office, my desk that I currently have is 65 inches wide. And I pretty much want that same size, maybe a 60 inch, because I use up the entire surface of the desk, truly. But the desk drawers, I had 2 file cabinets. I don't need that. I cleaned out our files. I put all the files into one cabinet. Now, I did that just this week. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get situated here, and I know you're going to have glare on my glasses unless I do something like that. I moved all of my files to one cabinet. So I'm doing this, right? I'm picking up the Pendaflex with the folders, and I see something in the bottom underneath the file folders. And I'm like, what is that? Is that a box? What is that? Ma'am, sir, it was this, a Kindle Fire. I pick it up and I'm like, I see the insignia here that says Amazon, and I'm like, is that a Kindle? What? Because months ago, I purchased this Kindle Fire. This is only a 7-inch one. This is like the big Mamma Jamma, right? And I opened it up. What the hell? I opened it up. I will fix that later. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out, does it work? I mean, obviously it wasn't charged. So I charged it, turned it on. Yeah, it works. And it was linked to my account.
What was most disturbing? Because now I'm reading on this because it's glorious, right? What bothered me the most was that I didn't remember that I had this. Why was it under files in that cabinet? How do I forget I have a Kindle for like months or years? I do not even know. I need to look back and see when I bought it. How do I not remember I owned this? What? No. How? No. Mm-mm. I'm like, am I finally losing it? Am I actually now losing it? But I did want to show you the book that I'm reading because it's so good. It is The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hell. It's so good. So this boy is born with ocular albinism, albino, where his eyes are red. And it tells his life as a kid, how he dealt with it. And then it fast forwards somewhat into his adult life. So he was born like in 1950s. So it's so good. It's so good because you are rooting for that kid. You are rooting. I think I'm going to take these off. It's so glary. You are rooting for that kid and rooting for that boy completely throughout this entire book. So love it. And I decided, Christmas, you guys know I've already like scaled way back for Christmas, right? Scaled back even further. And I've told everybody I know, please do not buy me something I got to put in my house unless I ask you for it. I asked my mom for a year's subscription to Kindle Unlimited as my Christmas present. Fantastic. It will be wonderful. I will put back on my glasses when I'm looking at the cross stitch patterns because I'm going to need that. But yeah, like what? Kindle. Okay. I'm going to put up some pictures here as I'm talking about this. So you guys know I love color. That's why my office was purple for 15 years. When we went to Home Depot to buy the paint, I was looking at all the paint samples and I told Bill, I said, I have to have my rooms, whatever rooms I have, my bedroom, craft room, office, whatever. I have to have them as a color. I have to have color. But when we were painting and doing all of that this week, really gave me pause. Like, painting is such a giant pain in the ass. The hardest part in the office wasn't even really the painting. It was the patching. I had 60 needlework pieces on the walls. 60 holes to patch. Ma'am. So I was sitting there the other day. So I grabbed a bunch of paint samples, right? And I said, I don't care if I even have to hire somebody to paint if we don't feel like doing it. I have to have my rooms color because I spend 95% of my time in my home, in my office working, in my craft room. I got to have color. Got to do it. Can't not do it. So I'm going to put a picture up here that shows I found this color. Somebody on Flosstube has this as their craft room and I fell in love with it. And then I saw it on Pinterest. And then I think it's this color, which is called raspberries. Oh my God. Ma'am. Yeah. And then if I'm able to have like a separate office, this color, which somewhat I think looks like this Acapulco Cliffs color. Are you kidding me right now? And have white trim. I love that. Because a lot of the furniture that I picked out from my bedroom, my dresser, my nightstand is white. And my new desk that I'm going to get is like a light blonde color. Yes. And then if I'm able to paint my bedroom, I would like to get like this green. Oh yeah, I've already got it worked out. Yeah. But yeah, painting. Heaven help me. Okay. Time to put these bad boys back on. All right. So purchases. Now, like I said, I have no progress for stitching or diamond painting. I'm hoping to do, well, I'm going to a retreat next week, so I'm going to get some stitching done then. But remember, I am working on, and I'll put the picture up here because I forgot to grab the pattern. Tiny Modernist Mouse's Strawberry Jam. Love this pattern. It's so very cute. I was already thinking ahead to finishing it. I went on Starry Night Studio because I love her stuff on there, and it's very reasonably priced. And I bought one of her backing boards. Are you kidding? Look at the strawberries. Please. Done. All I'm going to do is, remember, I'm stitching the Mouse's Strawberry Gem on fabric. So I will wrap it around, you know, cardboard, mat board, slap it on here, cording. And then I wanted something at the top. So I bought these. These are pins from Just Another Button Company. Look at the little strawberries. Like, because I've seen a finish where people will put either maybe ribbon up there. I don't know if I'll do that, but they will stick the little pins in the fabric, you know, the piece. And I think that'll just look so cute. So very cute. So got those. Then, and I know I needed another project bag, like I needed a fucking hole in the head, right? But Pinny and Tunny, my favorite bag designer of all time, truly. She had put out some new bags. Purple. You know I had to fucking get this, right? Yeah. And then here's the back. Now, in this bad boy are all of my patterns that I got from the needlework market. We're going to come closer so I don't have to bend over so much. The reason why they're in this bag is because my friend Cindy said, can you bring all of your patterns to the retreat so I can look at them? And I want to keep them separate. So they're going to travel with me. Now, when I got this package in the mail on, was it yesterday? It was either, no. Yeah, it might have been yesterday. It was yesterday. It was just yesterday, Friday. I picked it up and I was like, holy motherfucking moly. This thing weighs like 50 pounds. I mean, insanity. I'm going to show you the stack before we start going through it. Look at all that. I know. But man, do I have some amazing, amazing patterns. Let's move you so you're more, okay. Okay, so the very first one, which I may have to stitch this right after Mouse's Strawberry Jam because we are approaching Thanksgiving, all of the good fall stuff. This is Mouse's Pumpkin Pie. You guys know how much I love pumpkin pie? What? Look how big. Okay, first of all, that piece of pumpkin pie, that reminds me of the pie that Snoopy and Woodstock have at the end of Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. The pie is bigger than they are. Love the mouse, the turkey, gorgeous, all of it. Love, love, love. Mouse's Pumpkin Pie. And, you know, I'm also very particular with my patterns as far as the size. Like, I don't like ones that have the symbols where they're microscopic because get the fuck out of here with that. Like, no. I'm going to show you a little corner because I want to show you. See how nice? The patterns are done very nice by Tiny Modernist. Absolutely love. Okay. The next one, let's just pile them there. Heart and Hands, We Santa 2025. I can't with this. Look at the geese or the ducks. I love the one that's peeking out from behind the Santa right there. It's so cute. Absolutely love it. I like the big patterns and I have some in here, but I am so much drawn to the smaller ones for sure. Okay, Silver Creek Samplers Boo Hoo. They finished this in a couple different ways. What's nice is this uses all DMC. Oh, there's a bonus design. Eek bonus design. Oh, okay. This is why I got it. I love that. It's so cool. And on purple, get out of here, right? So they did theirs into a drum. I won't be doing that. This is the bonus design that's in there.
I love this one so much. I love Halloween stitching. I mean, look at the skeleton, the owl, please. And this little thing, this pumpkin, he's angry, right? Teeth. Love it though. Okay, this one is the Artsy Housewife. No net and snares me. Now, this is more usually not my type of stitching. This is more like sampler stitching, but I love the saying. I love the border. I love her dress. So this says, I am no bird and no net ensnares me. Now, they did the no net ensnares me in white. I think I would still do it in this so it shows up because you can hardly see it on the fabric they stitched it on. I love this so much though. The border, her dress, the saying, please. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to link these down below. Way too many to do that. So pause the video, pay attention, right? All right, the next one is Christmas Moon Stitches by Ethel. I like cardinals. This one was so cute. It's pretty small. Every time I see a cardinal, I think about my grandparents. I just love this one so much. It's so cute, right? All DMC except there is ribbon red was used. And I'm guessing that's Classic Colorworks ribbon red. I think that's a color. It's gorgeous. You could use any red. What's the moon done in? Oh, Gentle Art, roasted marshmallow. I like that. I like the subtle variegation in that. Okay. Another Artsy Housewife pattern. This one is Cozy. Now, I love the fabric this is stitched on. Is that stitched? Oh my God. Why did I not realize that this is all stitched? That's all stitched. It's gorgeous though, right? Yeah, love that. Although I don't drink tea, I do like it, you know, like coffee, please. Yeah. All right. Petal Pusher Spanish Moon Moth. I just really loved the color combination on this. The blue fabric with like the teal thread. Love this one. Gorgeous. I'm drawn to, like I said, color. Different fabrics, all of that. Okay, this one is Blueberry Ridge Design Sampler Holidays Thanksgiving. Now, this thread is Gloriana Silk in red clay, and I think I'm going to get that to stitch this because look how gorgeous that is done. And the variegation in that silk. I love this so much. I'm going to say that a million times on these patterns because every single one of these patterns I absolutely loved because otherwise I wouldn't have bought it, right? Yeah, I love that one. Okay, the Proper Stitcher, I bought 2 of hers, it looks like. The Proper Stitcher Strive for Joy. Strive for joy, not perfection. Love statements like that. And man, you could do this in any color you wanted. It didn't have to be red. So pull out that wonderfully variegated thread that you're like, what am I ever going to use this for? There you go. Love it. These are going to start to slide. And then I got Autumn Bliss because I am, again, drawn to like fall patterns. This one says, every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree. Look at that tree. Gorgeous. Love. Okay. Then I'm going to try to put these in somewhat of order. So I'm talking about, wait a minute, let me put, yeah, I need to put that one back there. Okay, another one from the Proper Stitcher. Did I say the Proper Stitch? It's the Proper Stitcher. This one is Cauldron Bubble, Double, Double, Toil, and Trouble. Yeah, witches, Halloween, there's her house, love it. Chef's kiss. Okay, ink circles. Welcome to my parlor. Please. I mean, look, it's a stitching stand with a lamp.
Get out of here. Had to get that. Love it. I like the spider too. Pattern by Lucy Beam, Love and Stitches. This is Merry October. Again, a small one. It only calls for a couple colors. It uses Gentle Art, Green Apple, Fragrant Cloves, Eggplant Raven, Pecan Pie, Weeks Dye Works, Porpoise, and Bullfrog. Where is the green? Oh, probably on, I don't know. Maybe on the stem of the pumpkin? Because you would think green apple. I'm going to have to look at the pattern. Okay, then I got 2 patterns from Lola Crow for the library. Because you know I love to stitch for the library. This one is Story Time for Ghosts. She's reading a book to a ghost. Ooh, that pattern's nice and big. And then this one was my favorite one, Buried in Books. Look at the skeleton reading to his cat. Love both of those. Okay, and then Puntini, is that how you pronounce that? This is Halloween Alphabet Sampler. I'm also a sucker for alphabets. I have a bunch of patterns that have alphabets in them. Really like stitching them. This would look fantastic on like purple perforated paper, like the lavender paper. Yes. Okay. Now, I bought 2 of Works by ABC, Arlene. I love that I know Arlene, and I've met her, and she is a fantastic person. One of my favorite people in the community. I'm organizing here. One of my favorite people in the community. One of the nicest people you will ever meet. Generous, and a wonderful stitcher and designer. So, I could go on and on, trust me. All right. So I bought Only If Open because it says books, minds, and umbrellas work only if they're open. And what did she use for the thread? She used all Weeks Dye Works, so awesome. It's only 3 colors. Absolutely, that could be something else for the library. It's a book, please. Yes. And then she did this, which I am so tempted to like stitch this and put it on something where I can like reference it because it's a color wheel bouquet. So isn't that stunning? It's the actual color wheel. Because I'm always looking especially when I change colors, what's complementary? What's going to go with it, right? Love that. Arlene, you did so good. Okay. Dirty Annie, Southern Style, Bad Things. This is kind of a big pattern. It's freaking 4 pages. I had to get it though, because it says, I sometimes do bad things when I'm hungry. And I feel like if you guys remember, I had done, and I gave it to my hairstylist. I gave her 2 diamond paintings and a couple cross stitch pieces. The one that I stitched, How to Survive a Horror Movie, the rules for surviving a horror movie. And I did the blood splatter on the frame. I would probably do that on this one. They stitched this on fabric that was blood spattered. I would rather do it on the frame. But please, I love her. She was my favorite part. That's why I got it. But the saying also. Yeah. Okay, Jan Hicks Creates, Grateful for Everything. This says grateful for every little thing. I just love this one too so much. My favorite part is the flower trellis around. Love that one. All right, now, and I want to say this is, isn't it? It's JED, Jed X Stitch. Her patterns, Jessica's patterns. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. I bought 5 of those. We're almost done, believe it or not. We're almost to the end. So the first one I got was Blue Rose. The colors that she uses, I love them so much. I love the rose in that. Yes. But these next two were my absolute favorites that I bought from her. Cherry Magpie, which I've seen finished and it's stunning. I don't know that I would do it on this color fabric, but I mean, just stunning. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. What is that fabric? Color and cotton. No, that's the thread. It's 40 count beetroot linen by Fox and Rabbit. Love that. I also got Blueberry J. I mean, look at these colors, right? What's that fabric? Malachite linen by Fiber on a Whim. Stunning. These are pretty big too. I mean, it's 140 by 180. So, yeah. Okay, then I got Strawberry Mountain because I love her pattern so much. The colors, the colors, the colors, the colors. Love that. And then Eye of the Beholder. Again, color and like a Quakery vibe with this one. Yes. Okay. Then I got Hello from Liz Matthews, who I love her stuff too. Fa La La. This one would be fantastic to stitch at Christmas time. Because, man, you could customize it. She uses all Classic Colorworks, and I love Classic Colorworks threads. Yeah, all that. Love it so much. And love the framing. I love all of it. And the last one is from Tiny Modernist. It is Halloween Pretties. Had to get this. Not that I'll stitch all of these, but I will tell you my favorites. Okay. My favorite, the whole reason that I got it was for the word Halloween. Please. But I love the haunted house and I love the bird with the pumpkin. Those are my favorites. I like the rest of them, but these three, my favorites. Absolutely. Ooh, the patterns are nice and big inside. Yeah, these 51-year-old eyes, please. But yeah. Okay, that was it. That was all of them. What I like about Top Knot Stitcher, first of all, it's just her. And I love supporting small businesses like that. She was diligent about putting out every time there was like a new preview. So, and she would also refund your shipping if you made multiple orders, because I did. I wound up doing like 3 or 4 different orders. She just sent out an email the other day where showing like some new releases coming up. And there is a new Heart and Hand wee one. It's very cute. It was like $6, so I bought that one. So that, but it was a pre-order because it's not available yet. But yeah, I've met Abby in person. I met her at the second, I think, Flosstube retreat. Like her very much. She's wonderful. So that was it. I hope you guys have had a good stitching week. Maybe the next clip I will have progress. I'm working up until I go to the retreat. So I probably will not film until I come back from the retreat. But yeah. So I'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. So today is Monday, September 22nd. And I got back from the retreat on Saturday. It was wonderful seeing everybody and actually being able to stitch, because I hadn't stitched in almost 2 weeks with, cleaning out the house, getting ready for our yard sale on Saturday, and just helping Bill where I can with painting or cleaning baseboards, things like that. So at the retreat, I did finish my mermaid. Didn't it turn out so good? I love the hair. I think the hair is my favorite part. So this is the Stitcher Hood Mermaid Tails. And I loved it because she's reading a book. So I don't know how I'm going to finish this because I don't have anything to finish it on. I like the little wood doodads and stuff.
I don't have anything in mind. So this is going to go in that box that I bought from Michael's until I come upon something. Because I find when I try to force finding something to do to finish something, it's never really what I like. So I might have to wait until like spring or summer, next summer, when like mermaid stuff is out. But isn't it fantastic? I mean, I could very easily get an artist canvas, get some scrapbook paper that is mermaid framed, and literally just finish it like this. Like I could just keep it with this washi tape, back it with paper, stick it to the canvas. I may do that. I absolutely may do that. So, but didn't it turn out so good? And when I was at the retreat, you know, I had only had like part of it filled in. I like did all this there, filled in the rest. It was amazing what I got done. I was very, very proud of myself because I thought that hair was going to be very, very tedious, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. I just took it row by row. Yeah. Now, the sulky, I used sulky. This is 18 count perforated paper. I used, and I just realized I forgot to show you my next project. This is 4016. And I know you probably can't see that. 4016 sulky. And it's the first time that I've used enough that I see the white on the spool. It is a beautiful, beautiful color. Now, I'm going to pause and go get my next project because I decided to put aside Tiny Modernist Mouse's Strawberry Jam. I really want to stitch something fall or Halloween. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. But in cleaning out the house and taking stuff off the walls, and I found this picture of my grandparents when they were very young with my aunt who has passed away and my mom. My mom, when I show you this picture, my mom is the youngest child in this picture. And I want to say she's like 5 or 6. So this is like 1959 or 1960. And, you know, I have a couple, before I show you, I have a couple pictures downstairs. One that my mom got me of my grandparents after they both passed that has like a cardinal and a little saying. But in front of that, and I've showed it on the channel, in front of that, I have a two-sided thing that has my mom's graduation picture from high school and my dad's. And then I have a picture of me and my grandmother when I was a baby. Those pictures I look at every single night before I go to bed, and I absolutely treasure them. So when I saw this one, this is one of my favorite pictures of my grandparents. They look so young. If it was possible to go back in time and have a time machine, I would love to go back in this time and be able to talk to them and see what kind of people they were here, because I'm trying to think, in 1959, my grandfather was born in 1927 and my grandmother in 1930. So they were barely 30 years old. They were just a little bit over 30 years old. So amazing to, you know, yeah, but let me show you the picture. So I went to Michael's because I know they have like a whole set of like little mini frames, and I found one. Okay, I love the frame. It's antique, but look at the picture. Look at the car they had. Are you kidding me right now? So obviously this is my grandfather, my grandmother, my aunt, my mom. I don't know why my mom had no shirt on. I have no idea. Little kid. Mom said she was a tomboy. She was not really a girly girl. But what's amazing too is that now in their neighborhood, I mean, they bought their house, I think like they were the first people that owned it. This is all houses now. Like this developed so much over the years they lived there. But the car, I can't get over the car. But I love the frame. It's very antique-y looking. It was $4.99, I think. Very, very cheap. And of course, I wanted one that went this way because most of them go this way. So since the picture was this way, it's perfect. It will look amazing down there with my other pictures. So let me pause, grab my next project, which I'm stitching on paper,
I love paper so much. I love it. You guys know I love it. So let me pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It was 1 second for you, right? Okay, so my next project, because Heart and Hand is probably one of my favorite designers that's out there. Ye Old Crow Sampler, which includes the little buttons. There are little buttons. Where are the buttons? Little buttons, I think, here and here. So Christy from Java Girl Stitches, she saw someone who wound up stitching the pumpkin orange and the stem green. I'm going to do the same thing to give it a little pop, right? But I'm just using black DMC. And what's nice is they give you the full alphabet for your initials, and they give you numbers so you can put whatever year you stitch it in. So obviously this one was done, this pattern is from 2018. Love this one so much. Love these kind of patterns very much. Now, for the back stitch, you know I love to add in like sparkle somewhere. I thought I would do the back stitch in black petite treasure braid to give it a little something, something, right? Now, I'd also thought, wait a minute, let me pause. Okay, that was my daddy calling, so had to answer him. And I forgot what I was saying. Okay, this, I wanted to add sparkle. So I was going to add the petite treasure braid. Now, I am going to stitch it on ecru perforated paper. And I had this fall washi tape because I like to cover it in washi tape because then the threads don't catch on the end. So that's going to look really good, all the black and then the orange and the green. So I picked a green and an orange for the pumpkin. But I also had an idea of, for the back stitch, doing it with like the DMC memory thread, which is discontinued. And they say a good substitute is Krynic braided wire. I've never used that. And 1, 2, 3 stitch was out of the black one. And it's got sparkle to it though, which I would like that. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I may just do the petite treasure braid because I already have it. We'll see. But I finished a book. I finished The Extraordinary Life of Sam Hill. I forget who the author is. It's Robert somebody. It's on my Goodreads. If you follow me on Goodreads, amazing. It is like my number 2 book of all time besides Joe Nothin's Guide to Life. Those 2 books, favorite books. Amazing. It was amazing. So I think my next book is going to be Sherry LaPina's newest one. She Didn't See It Coming, I think. I have the sample on my Kindle and I read the first chapter and I really liked it. I like her. I've read a bunch of her books. So I hope you guys have been doing good. I don't know if this is my last clip because I know this is the 22nd. I still have, 8 days. I'll probably come back one more time. So I will see you then. Hey guys, today is Tuesday, September 23rd. And my mind was kind of blown this morning. So if you guys have followed the channel for any length of time, you know how I love perforated paper. I said it in yesterday's clip, right? Well, I have tried everything under the sun to color it. I've painted it with acrylic paint. I've done the distressed oxide ink. I've done a whole host of things. Marker. Nothing has been perfect where I have said, this is it. This is the way I want to do it because I want it to look perfect, right? And the reason why, the reason why, I love hand-dyed fabric, but I love stitching on paper better. My stitches are neater. It's easier to finish paper pieces. And so I want to emulate hand-dyed fabric on paper. So I'm sitting here this morning before work started. I have like a tiny break. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm going to search again ways to color perforated paper. And I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there and I'm looking and it's the same old stuff, right? The oxide ink, blah, blah. And then a light bulb went off in my head. If you guys remember when I was doing embroidery, I discovered a way, and it was from a YouTube video, of printing directly the embroidery pattern on the fabric. What I did was I took a piece of sticker paper like that you would make a shipping label on. I would stick the fabric to it, run it through my inkjet printer. And I'm like, why could I not run perforated paper through an inkjet printer? It's a little thicker, of course, than printer paper, but it's almost like running cardstock through your printer. Are you ready to see? Okay, so this was what I'm trying to emulate, right? This is the Coffee Jobelan that I love because I wanted to restart Mouse's Strawberry Jam on perforated paper. This color is just perfect. So I was like, all right, I searched online for a free, royalty-free stock image of like this color. And it fucking worked. It worked. I can't wait to show Bill when he gets home because, are you ready to see it? And it's hard to, let me try to hold something behind it because it truly is this brown color. It is this color. I mean, you can see the white at the bottom, right? So it printed, let me try to find a white piece of paper. Whoopsie, white piece of paper. I'm going to grab my work papers. It's really hard to show you. It doesn't look like anything. It is like, it literally is this color when you look at it like in real life. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that it printed on this and that it looks amazing. It looks so good in person. So that's an option. I mean, if you have an inkjet printer. What I really want to do, the piece that was the free Friday stitch from Primrose Cottage Stitches back in the summer, the Hello Summer one, they stitched that on Berry Smoothie fabric by Fabric Flare, which is like a light pink, but it's modeled. And so I searched online today for, you know, and I like it as smooth. I don't like to be able to see splotches of color. That's just my preference. I like a smooth transition. This is gorgeous in person. I wish you could see it the way I can see it. It's amazing though. And so I found a pink and I haven't tried it yet because I had to start work, but I'm going to do that. So now the sky should be the limit as long as I can find a free royalty stock image to print any kind of color that I want on the paper. And it took like 3 minutes and there was no drying. It came out dry. There, you can kind of see how brown it is. It came out dry. So all I got to do is cut it. Now I had cut this piece to, because they come in sheets of 9 by 12. So I cut it to a piece of printer paper size. So I did 8.5 by 11. If I ever have to do a bigger piece, well, first of all, I would do it on 18 count. If I got to do like, there's a Kathy Barrick design, I think, Wildflowers that I want to do that's bigger. And that's on, the background of that is like an olive green color. I can't wait to experiment with this. Like, are you freaking kidding me? All this time, instead of, you know, I could have been printing it through my printer. Dude, like, yeah. So I just wanted to come on here and show that to you guys really quick. Let me do it this way. Maybe you can see it better. Oh, you can see it better. Okay. So you see how pretty brown that is compared to that? Like, it's so amazing. It looks, and the edges are darker. I searched for like an ombre image. I'll probably be cutting that out. I only need like a 5 by 5 piece for Mouse's Strawberry Jam. But, you know, I love paper so much. The main reason is that my stitches look really nice and neat on it because it doesn't give like fabric does. And I can hold it in my hand to stitch. I don't need a frame. I don't need anything. Like, I can just hold it and stitch, and I can easily see the holes on 18 count. So I'm able to stitch bigger pieces. Very, very excited that you know, I feel like Einstein, or who was the guy, you know, it took Einstein like 10,000 tries to make the light bulb. He made the light bulb, right? Whatever he made. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. So let's fucking go. Like, yeah, you guys do not even know how excited I am to have discovered this. And I put it in there and crossed my fingers and said, please God, let this work, because what? Yes, it's amazing. Okay, so I hopefully will have some stitching progress. I don't know, because our yard sale is this Saturday, so we're kind of busy the rest of the week. We'll see. We'll see. If not, I'll come back one more time just to say hi and bye, you know. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I will see you in the next clip. Hey guys, today is Monday, September 29th, and this will be the last clip for this vlog. I don't even know how to start this. We've been having a time over here. The house stuff, repairs, painting the whole house. It's been a lot. I think if you can get through a house move with your spouse, you can probably get through most anything. It's much more stressful and very different than I saw it going. We just had some unexpected things pop up, repairs that we've had to do, and just trying to navigate everything has not been easy, mentally or physically. So yeah, having a little bit of a rough time. I've not stitched since the retreat. I did though cut this down and put the washi tape closer, because my original intent was to finish this on artist canvas. And I even on Friday went to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and got an artist canvas and scrapbook paper, and I tried to finish it that way today, and it didn't go well. So what I decided to do was get a finishing board from Starry Night Studios on Etsy, and I'll put a picture up here of the one that I ordered. And I'm just going to finish it on there. Very easy. This one particularly comes with a plastic easel on the back of it that you can prop up, because I want to put this on the bookcase, and you know, on my bookcase, because she's reading a book. So yeah, I'm hoping to do some stitching today on Ye Old Crow, you know, from Heart and Hand, that I haven't started yet. I haven't kitted up and ready to go, just haven't started it yet. I did get 2 patterns in the mail. Heart and Hand's Wee Santa 2024. I've fallen in love with these. They're so cute. And I do have the one for this year coming. I mean, like I said, they're right up my alley as far as how small they are. If I have any chance in hell of finishing something, right? And then I got this, Cottage Garden Samplings Midnight Drift. This was a needlework release at the end of August. Absolutely love that. I think that would look fantastic on perforated paper, especially now that I could color paper, print paper myself that has this color in the background. So absolutely love that. The only other thing that's really been going on is I have been reading. So, you know, we have just been going. We had a yard sale. Our community had a yard sale on Saturday, and I feel like we did pretty well. We got rid of a lot of stuff, and we were able to put that towards, we had to wind up getting a new toilet in the upstairs bathroom, which we weren't expecting. So that money went to that. And we have to get a new faucet in there, like things like that. I finished reading Sherry LaPina's newest book. I'll put one up here. She didn't see it coming. I liked it. It was very good. And then just this morning, I started reading J.E. Rowney. It's on Kindle Unlimited, called Red Flags. So I'll put a cover of that up here. That one's good so far. I mean, I just started it this morning and I read 50 pages. It's very, very easy to read. You want to keep reading it. The main character, Clara, is very, very relatable. She's trying to find love, and she gets on this dating app, and I'm guessing it doesn't go well. But like I said, I'm only so far into it. But yeah,
that's all that's really going on. The amount of stuff, and I know I've said this so many times, probably in this video, and the whole video for September, the amount of stuff I've gotten rid of, mind-boggling. I mean, it's changed my life. It's changed my life as far as physical material things, purchasing things. I don't want to buy anything. I don't want to bring anything into this house. And I also, after, we're trying to paint the entire house. So right now our house is in disarray because we've taken everything is off the walls in every room of the house except the library has a couple things in there. But almost everything is off the walls. And if we're painting, not putting anything back up, because why would we do that? Yeah. So we're living in disarray. The only room that's totally still the same is my craft room, because if you remember, Bill just redid that 2 years ago. So we don't have to paint that. There's no nails and there's no holes in the walls there. I just have to be really careful in pulling the hooks off from the 3M hooks. That's the only room that is still intact. And I mean, we're still going to be in this house for months because we're not moving until next year. But just trying to get everything done now so we're not scrambling. It has been quite the eye-opener, though, as far as now I understand why if you go in someone's house and you don't see anything on the wall. I get it. I absolutely get it. It makes me want to hang up nothing. Truly. I even looked through my pieces again that I said in a previous clip that I was going to keep, but I didn't find anything else I really wanted to get rid of. I kept 26 pieces, I think. Something like that. I mean, out of like 60. I mean, out of a lot of pieces. I'm going to hang up anything I can with a 3M hook, with a 3M picture hanger, because, oh my God, like the amount of patching we've had to do in this house, unbelievable. Anytime someone says they're moving, I completely sympathize with you. Completely sympathize. So, any well wishes in that area be greatly appreciated, because we have a long road ahead of us. Unfortunately, my Lego orchid got broken yesterday, in the midst of moving stuff around. Fell off a shelf and shattered into a million pieces. And Bill was like, well, can't you put it back together? And it would be such a pain, I think, to try to, the reason why I like to do Legos is because they're in bags. It's there's instructions, it's laid out, I can follow it. To try to piece together something from pieces, I just put it all in the trash. And that's okay. It's just one less thing I have to move, right? So it'll make room for, I have another little flower kit that I'll do at some point probably, and put that up there. And the one I really want to do is my typewriter that I have. So yeah, I will probably do that. But I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, or whenever you have watched this, if you've gotten through the entire thing. I will see you guys next month. Have a good October.